My people, we're going to get straight into this. We're going to talk about Plantmade, yeah? And then we're going to talk about two people in this, yeah? We're going to talk about the founder, the real owner, Amma, Ache. And we're going to talk about a person called Tony. Now, this person called Tony is the new owner. Let's just say, but his name's David. You get me? And before I even start, I want you lot to know, see, when I speak, please, I speak with pure passion, intentions, and I speak with fairness. So I speak and I do what's right. So you see, in the eyes of the law, sometimes you can come online and you can say crazy things, and guess what? Someone sends their lawyer and they send the defamation of character, or they do X, Y, and Z, and then you have to take things down and whatnot. So you see me, I'm a person where I don't care. You get me? I don't really care. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So I've heard two stories, and you know, when I speak about things, I find out more information. I think in this video, I'm going to play a bit about David, Tony, and I'm going to play Amma's interview. Amma just released the interview regarding Plantmade. So let's go to David's one, just so you understand. There's a headline here. This headline, just flip the screen. It says, I lost money investing in Plantmade, featuring Tony. Cool. His name's David. Obviously, Amma has done a response or jumped on a podcast and said the truth about what really happened with Plantmade, featuring Amma. So obviously, safe to say, guys, it's not rocket science. We kind of read it between the lines. There's not 100% truth. Now, I'm going to come with facts here, yeah? So I'm going to listen, boom, 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 give you my opinion, but I'm going to come with some key facts that I want you lot to read between the lines. And I'm just going to say how it is. So now I'm trying to say, you with me? So when I go online, firstly, big shout out to the 90s show. Big shout out to 90s Baby Show. Big shout out to you lot. Amazing. Who should you have got on the podcast? You should have got on Amma. You should have got on the lady that created opportunity when, you know, when we're starting up as a podcast. You know, when we need sponsorship. You know, when we need the money, that we should have got her on the show. Forget this other guy, bro. Forget Tony, bro. We should have got Amma on the show for her to explain what's happened. That's who we should have gotten. You know, like out of like courtesy, because you know what happens when people are great talkers and they're from Cambridge University and you know they know how to speak and they have the gift of the gaff, they start fooling man's mindset. So obviously, I understand. So we're gonna get into this. You get me? Obviously, anyone that don't know this storyline, this is Amma. You get me? Powerhouse, yeah. Black woman, powerhouse. Started a business, £100, turned it into a multi-million-pound business. Tens million plus sales. Talk to her nice. You get me? And then we're going to deal with Tony, David. You get me? And this guy, you get me? Very, you know, born into money, Cambridge University, big contacts. Say you can do this, that, and the other. You get me? And he's jumped on the podcast. But before he jumped on the podcast, and this is the starting of the podcast. This was the intro. Great intro, by the way, guys. You get me? This is the starting of the podcast. This is what was said.
What a lot of people want to know, because we'll go through the whole story, but did you steal Plantmade from the founders and the owners?
Can you define theft for me?
Okay.
No, I'm playing. I'm being
Because you understand that that's what it looked like
100%.
happened, especially on the internet. It looked like, first of all, it's still black owned.
I'm AI.
Yeah. Ooh. Funny. Yeah. It looked like it happened. So you stated something that was a key point. It looked like it happened. So just piece it together. Obviously, one thing that Tony David should have never done, have gone on a podcast and said one bag of stuff that was not 100. And we're gonna break things down because, you know, we're gonna understand why was even Tony or David even involved in Plantmade. How did this come across? You know what I mean? All of a sudden, the way how he went on, it was, you know, just look at the books and how everything came across. So anyway, we saw that, and do you know what? With me, it's very important that we get the truth. But firstly, as well, it's very important that we back the truth and we back black women. We don't paint no narratives. You get me? And it's very important. 90s show, baby, 90s baby. And anyone that's watching this, everything that I say is from the bottom of my heart. And just know what I'm saying is always got a higher area of truth. You get me? You might, and I'm going to show you facts, just one key point that you watch, and then you can read between the lines. And when I saw this a couple days ago, it came out a couple days ago. I saw this.
Let's get into it. We're going to talk about Plantmade. When I heard that she lost the thing, and I'm thinking, after you just a new Evening Standard.
Should we have spoke to Tony or Amma? Should we have spoke to Ian Wright or any?
We've obviously...
You should have spoke to Amma, bro. And you know why you should have spoke to Amma? Because you know Amma, you see when, like I said before, you see when you start up and you have a company that has given a lot of money and sponsorship, and down the line, something goes wrong. We had a great relationship. It's not always about the money. You know, over the years, it's been amazing. So we should have owned her that sort of, you know, courtesy, then got some guy that's just all of a sudden jumped on here to sell some sort of lie online, and then everyone's eating it up. You feel me? But anyway, cool.
Assume the white man's come and done what the white man does. You understand? Let's be honest. After I heard the thing, man put on Malcolm X.
The interviewer made it black on black with Ian Wright, and we was owed money.
All we hear is that it's making millions. One of the fastest growing companies in the UK. I've had my business taken from me and I got 30K.
They had the same racism scandal court case that any won against Mark.
Cool. I saw that, and you know when you kind of doing some research and you kind of knowing the facts of it, it feels a bit distasteful. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through the events again. We're going to go through some of the stuff that Tony said, some of the stuff that David said. Well, Tony is David, and some of the stuff that Amma said. And obviously I'm going to give you my take on it, but then we're going to go through actual key facts that just goes to, that's going to direct you to the conclusion. Just the conclusion, so you know, yeah? But anyway, let's go back to this conversation. Let's go back to it.
That was my biggest worry.
Yeah. And that was a lot of people's biggest worry.
That,
Everyone was thinking, who is it that's taking it? Because we know that that's something that we valued in the community.
Absolutely.
Black owned, and it's a good product.
It's a phenomenal product.
This whole thing has happened in front of us, and we've just been told, I've been kicked out of the business almost. So you haven't...
If, someone's saying that, I've been kicked out of the business, and she's saying it the way how she's saying it, You see, in business, you see if you slander a business or you do certain things on a business, you know you can take that person to court for, defamation of. So if someone said that, Amma's come out and she's basically said it the way how she said it. Just, but anyway.
Stolen the business?
Absolutely not.
Okay, cool. So in terms of just like our investment, we've obviously done business with Plantmade a while ago, years and years ago. I'll be honest, I think if this happened at a certain time, I think I would have been emotionally attached to it. So I think it's good that we're doing this now.
I'm still, because there's still a bit of emotion. Like I said, it was our first, coming out, going full time. It was our first sponsorship and long-term partner. So it was like,
come on, boys, man. Come on. I respect you, look. You said that. It's your first partnership. Why have you got him on your show first? What the hell? Come on. But anyway, thank you, because now we can, get the facts of it. You just set yourself up.
there's still like an emotional attachment
100%.
to it. So when we were like, should we get him on? I was like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think it's important to speak to.
Of course, it's very important. But what we should have done, what you guys should have done, like what you did say, is you should have reached out to Amma for her to explain herself or something. I gave her a platform, but she declined, or should have. But anyway, let's go to what Amma's saying. So look, we're gonna go through. Actually, no. Let's go to this bit of the bit. 2 minutes, 6 seconds. Cool. Let's go to this. I've written it down. You know, I just want to get straight into this. I don't want to faff. I want to get straight into this segment.
Wherever you went into Plantmade, we can obviously kind of say, oh yeah, that's when we found out whatever, but what was the situation when you got into Plantmade?
So he's asking the question, and by the way, he's asking like, how did you even come across Plantmade? You get me? So let's listen to what he has to say. You get me? Let's listen to what he has to say.
And why you was brought along and the origins of that, basically.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Plantmade is, first of all, an exceptional business.
Yeah.
And I want to start off by saying, Amma, the team, have done something that's historic. And I think not just in black business, but in the consumer industry in the UK, period. Again, going back to what I said about greatness and excellence, like whether you're black, white, yellow, whatever, what the team achieved in a 5-year period is phenomenal. And like,
this is a great speech, by the way. Great speech. Gaslighting or this is a great speech. You would think that they have an amazing, like he's got an amazing relationship with Amma. Like you would think that, like, oh yeah, what they've done is amazing. Like very, very rare. But anyway, cool. Great speech. Let's listen anyway.
Amma is a founder. Like she took something from her mum's kitchen, £100, her real lived experience and problems, and created a solution that so many of us love and use. Like this beard is still coming in. We'll do a watch the beard fill in this little bits journey, but this beard wasn't like it is now before I started using inches, etc. So I think it's really important for me to just start by saying that everything starts with an incredible respect for how they founded the business. So that's important for me to establish.
Okay, look. I get it, man. I get it. Okay, cool. Let's get into actually the question. You get me? Let's get into the question, what was asked.
We met back end of 2024.
We met about September 2024. They met September 2024. Yeah?
2024 through a mutual contact that we all know, I think. And again, it was similar. We had a story, we had a conversation like this, and I had an immense respect for her as a founder and what she'd built. And I was angel investing at the time. I was on a break from law school, but my investment company is 3-4 years old now, and we'd been deploying checks in different businesses, and I just literally said, like, she was like, I love what you're doing. I'd love to see how we can work together. I was like, I love what you're doing. I'd love to see how we could work together. And she was like, look, she's been trying to raise some money, and we could, let's see what happens. I was like, that's...
Wait. You see the key points? You see energies in that, it never lies, you get me? You see the key, you're asking, and let's go back to that, because obviously I just want you lot to understand. You see, when you're telling a story, tell the whole story. You get me? Just tell the whole story. Am I saying it right? Do you know what I'm trying to say? But let's just go back to this bit, just so you can see a little bit. And I'm not here to go handpick. I'm coming with something with a conclusion. But I just want you to just watch this, yeah? Just listen, watch this bit.
Deploying checks in different businesses, and I just literally said, like, she was like, I love what you're doing. I'd love to see how we can work together. I was like, I love what you're doing. I'd love to see how we could work together. And she was like, look, she's been trying to raise some money, and we could, let's see what happens. I was like, that's
okay. Okay.
Something I'd love to take a look at. And I thought it would be, a really exciting opportunity to partner, because I think at the time, the business, and it's well publicized, there's Times articles, etc., about, struggling with fundraising for the business, etc., at the time. Yeah. And for me, I know that, black people, I actually wrote a long policy paper on this, but black people, we struggle with access to finance for business funding more than any other community. And then within that, black women more than anybody struggle with access to venture capital. So for me, I felt like it was a real injustice where you have this amazing founder and an amazing business, and it's crazy to me that, like...
So you would think, that obviously they've had the conversation and boom, 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 and then all of a sudden he's just entered the business and what he straight away he's just invested, or there's been a deal structure in the business straight away. You would think that, right? The way how he's speaking, like he's speaking like this is what he's been doing. You would think that. But anyway, I'll get back to it. I just want us to just take him the stuff that I'm saying.
Investors are not taking this in, is kind of how my initial understanding was. So I was like, cool, let's take a look at the numbers, let's take a look at the proposition. I'm already familiar with the brand, familiar with the marketing. I think it's exceptional. I know many people it's been transformative for. Let's look at what happens. So yeah, that was back into 2024. And then coming into 2025 is when we started to like seriously look at a deal in terms of how could we structure things. And the financials I saw were...
So he said in 2024, from September, he vaguely said whatever he said. And then he said, going into 2025, we looked at how we can structure a deal. So in the 4 months, what was he doing? What is it that he was doing? Anyway, let's get into. Let's play a bit more before I play Amma.
A business that had great potential, but it was in a difficult place. And I think initially I came into it feeling like this is going to be easy. What I do is raise money and deploy money in great businesses. This is a great, fast-growing business. This should be a piece of cake. And when I got to work closely, and every deal is different, I was like, okay, this is a difficult deal to get done, but it's a business that I really believe in and has great potential. So if we can help sort out working on some of the things that need to be, brought up to certain standards, some of the liabilities that were on the balance sheet, then it shouldn't be a problem.
So all of that there, it's great at speaking, whatnot. What he was meant to do, he was meant to come in on the business to raise capital. Yeah, he's never ever operated an operation business like that. He's never ever ran a business like this, guys. There's two sides of the business. They manufacture their own stuff. That's another powerhouse within themselves. There's two sides of the business. Now, he started talking about angel investing. So let me just give you what's happening. So Krypton Conan, go to their pages. Smack's Hamburger, close friend of mine. You get me? Cool. Smack's Hamburgers, it also owns a supermarket with Krypton Conan called Safeways, yeah? Krypton Conan has announced that they are creative, whatnot of Smack's Hamburgers. So what they do is they raise capital. So with the capital that they raise, they then, obviously, if they raise capital or whatnot, they regain a certain percentage of the business. So he was coming in to raise capital or to pitch to get investors of the company, etc., etc., etc. Just read it between the lines. Like, just he's coming in to do that, to help with the business on that side of things. Just understand that. So before he's talking about any of this, that's what he's initially coming into the business to do. Just raise capital and have them conversations. Yeah? Because he's making him sound like, yo, he's the big man. He's the big man. Just look at how we can do X, Y, and Z. No, he's coming into the company for that. But anyway, let's go to Amma. Let's see what Amma has to say. Because she starts talking about when the business went bust, basically. Let's go into this. Look.
I've got here on the 9th of June. Yeah. Administrators were...
Let me slow down the speed now, because already normal.
Appointed.
Yeah.
That was literally a couple of weeks after your episode. And
exactly.
a couple of months.
Yeah.
So I want you to look at these key dates, because he mentioned the 9th of June. I just rewinded it. Because key dates, we're going to go to some paperwork so you kind of understand what's going on here. Yeah?
Let's really sort of break down. So I think I've got here on the 9th of June.
Yeah.
Administrators were appointed.
Yep.
That was literally a couple of weeks after your episode come out.
Yep.
So I just kind of want to just show that kind of like real light and shade in the like plates you were spinning and the person that you were kind of needing to be, wanting to be, but having to be. On that same day, so June the 9th, a new company was incorporated, and shortly after, Plantmade's assets were sold
Yep.
via a pre-pack
Yep.
for £30,000.
Yeah.
When you look back at that moment, administration became real. What did that feel like for you emotionally?
I see when you hear these things, yeah, a company, because just have it right. Look, I'll be honest with you. If you do look up all these Uber, Just Eats, you look at all these companies, valuation, £1 billion valuation, but they're in debt. This is what companies, you see when you turn over so much money, to let you know as well, Nala's baby, yeah, as I'm an investor, the reason why Krept had to raise all this capital so he had the right cash flow. He already had the deals with all the supermarkets already, but he still raised the capital so he had the cash flow, or he would have to borrow and be in the negative in terms, but he still knows what the business is going to do. And this is why he had to do a second round of feed. A second round of seed, just so you kind of understand, because what's being said to us is, the company's on £1.8 million debt and there was no money in the company. Yeah, so when you start hearing, flipping a company being sold for 30,000, obviously just understand a company being sold for 30,000 to go onto the nets. It's not just, I'm going to sell the company for 30,000 and because her company has turned over something like 14, 15 million. So being in £1.8 million debt is nothing to what she turned over. Just so you understand, because sometimes when we watch this, we don't understand businesses. And then you have someone like David coming online saying all these things. It makes you think that, actually, this young lady actually has a failed company, or she was heavily spending, when you have to account for everything in your business. If you don't account for everything, you can actually go to prison, right? But anyway, let's just get into the administration side of things, yeah? Cool.
Gosh, so funny. We were all together, the entire team, including the new owner,
Right.
and he was celebrating, and we weren't. And
So the new owner was celebrating that the company went bust. Let's say that. Why was the new owner celebrating that the company went bust? Wait for me to land, but why would the new owner celebrate that the company went bust? Cool.
that wasn't a case of like,
That's giving me chills.
But wait. Let's hold on. Let's just go on to the new owner, then we'll just go on to Amma. Because the new owner, my man, he vaguely just touched up on this, that, and the other. You get me? Because, he vaguely touched up on it. Amma done a full breakdown. You get me? But I know some of us won't catch it. So I just want you to know, someone that's from a mutual standpoint, like mutual, someone that actually knows what actually happened. I'm just saying this from a place of, this is what's happened. Did you get it? But anyway, let's listen to what he had to say again.
Can you get a little bit of, because I feel like you're being a little vague, probably on purpose.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. But is there anything where you can divulge a bit more? Because I'm kind of like, why was it difficult?
Yeah.
Like, if it's...
Thank you. My brother here, you get me? He was not sure. But anyway, let's listen.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, so I think at the time, fully transparently, so in you can go and read that the numbers are there to be read online, and
why does he keep on going to the numbers? Just forget about the numbers for a minute. Cool. 1.8 million, cool. Just forget about the numbers, bro. You get me? If you got a company, I promise you, forget about data alone. You got a data worth you've turned over 14 million of sales. Forget about 1.8 million. I promise you, forget about that. You get me? You have turned over this in sales. You got data on the back of it. You're doing a mad thing. Yes? I just want you lot to think, because he keeps on talking about the numbers.
been headlines around it, right? So to answer your question directly, did I steal Plantmade? Let me do that and then come back here. Is that fair?
Yeah.
So there is a concept of equity. We're all familiar with equity.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. There's also such things as negative equity. I don't know if you knew that.
Yeah.
So for a long time, for about 2 years on average, Plantmade had been losing £50,000 a month, something in that region on average.
Now, this is not true. This is misinformation. This is not true. Just letting you lot know that this is crap. You get me? It's crap.
So by the time it had really come to the time where I had got brought in to help try and advise and help the business was almost 2 million in the hole.
Wow.
And so the negative equity of the business was almost negative 2 million. So I feel like and I get it because people are passionate about the business and they care, and it belongs not just to myself and my co-investors and my team and everybody. Like, this is a business that belongs to the community. And
Remember how he's talking? He's talking, oh, the business is 2 million a whole and this and that and that and that and that. And yeah, I'm just doing you guys a favor. You know what I mean? I'm just doing you guys a favor. But anyway, come on.
That's actually why I cared to want to be involved and it's eventually, put the money up to make sure that, ironically, it doesn't go into the hands of other communities that have made so much money off of our.
Oh, okay. Okay. So he's willing to go 2 million down just so it don't go into anyone else from the community, yeah? Okay, great.
Backs or some random private investment group that actually it falls into the hands of a young 27-year-old black person from London who is aligned to the culture and wants to continue to build within it with the.
This guy is not part of the culture. Forget about that. Don't tell man, yes, you're black, amazing. It's not culture, bro. It's not part of the culture. Yeah. I done a video and I was like, oh, Black King. After I flipping had to, get the receipts. And I was like, okay. These are the sort of people that we deal with. You get me? But anyway.
People and continue to give platforms like this the opportunity to partner and be sponsored. So that was why I was interested in the brand. But at the time, there's certain comments that were like, it's outrageous because look at like it was such a valuable business. Like the balance sheet works the way a balance sheet is. Like the maths works the way the maths is. And with the amount of debt in the business, the business was not only technically worthless from a financial standpoint, it was negative 2 million.
So if the business was worthless technically, why would you buy a business for £30,000 and you be in 2 million debt if the business is worthless? Guys, hello, wake up here. I need you to wake up here. But anyway, just listen.
Whoever was coming into the business was taking on liabilities. The first time I had a conversation with you, I didn't know how it was going to go because the business was owing you guys money. It's a situation where Plantmade at that point had an incredible product, had strong sales, but the way that the financial management and some of the operational stuff had unfortunately brought it to a place where, from an accounting basis, from the accountants that the team had chosen, it was a negative equity of a significant amount. So when I acquired the business, that was what it is. So to directly answer your question, did I steal Plantmade? There wasn't a business to steal from a perspective because the business was in minus in value. Yeah. And also the business had about 40 different lenders and people that it was owing money to. And by law, your creditors can, if you default on payments, close you down.
Now listen, he bought Plantmade, you get me? It wasn't worth nothing, but yeah, I'm just giving man 30K and gonna be in £2 million debt nearly, 1.8 million. You get me? And yeah, there's 40 other lenders and don't worry. Don't worry, man, for the culture, for the black people, so it don't go in the hands of anyone else. Cool. Anyway, that's what he said. We'll go back to him. You get me? That's what he said. Let's listen to this now.
That wasn't I don't think we knew we would feel that way. But
so obviously this is just to touch up on this bit. I'll rewind it a little bit. When the company went into administration, obviously Tony David, he was happy. So we'll explain why he was happy,
What did that feel like for you emotionally?
Gosh, so funny. We were all together, the entire team, including the new owner.
Right.
And he was celebrating and we weren't. And that wasn't a case of like...
That's giving me chills.
That wasn't I don't think we knew we would feel that way. But we were like, gosh, we just looked at each other. And he was like, oh, like, why aren't you celebrating? I'm just like, well, this is the end, right? And like, that's the end of that chapter, and this is a new chapter. But we are founders, we're business people, so we just kept on going. So there was no like stop. We didn't kind of want to stop. We kind of just wanted to like, okay, cool, but we still have things to do here.
Yes.
Because we had a commitment. We were still in our roles, so we're like,
and the mission
this is not even like, this is not like, cool, this is a change and this is that, but the business is still here, even if it's in a new entity. We still.
So the business is still here, even if it's in a new entity, meaning there's some sort of partnership. Just saying, you know what I mean? Yes, administration, blood, sweat, and tears. This black queen, you get me, from the age of still under 30, done amazing. You get me? Something close to her. He's happy. You get me? Jumped in. He's now a part of this powerhouse. You get me? Some sort of agreement has been met, I presume. Catch the drift? Cool.
Need to run it. So we still had so many, like, I guess, I's to dot.
And T's to cross.
We had so many.
Yeah.
Key points. Administration in June. October out the business. Administration in June. October out the business. So from June to October, some sort of partnership, right? Some sort of agreement, some sort of ownership, right? Equity, right? Or they would have just gone into administration and Amma, her husband, her brother would have just shook hands and cut, right? Okay? Safe to say? Cool, let's get into this.
That is like the comparison of the celebration and it not feeling like a win for you. But not knowing that it wasn't a win.
But the reason why it didn't feel like a win is because this wasn't about what I wanted.
Yeah.
I did what was best for everyone involved.
But this wasn't what she wanted. She did what was best. So what the conversation, what the deal was, what everyone as a team said we're going to do to move on to, you know, still own equity of the business and move forward. You know, look, get me. Let's say it how it is, guys. Bill Gates don't own 100% of Microsoft, does he? He might own like 1%. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, all these massive companies don't own 100% of their business. Sometimes you have these venture capitalists, these you know, these hedge funds that will come and buy a high percentage of the business, and then you still have this role, just like Dana White and the UFC. Catch the drift? But anyway, cool.
So I did the administration because we had so many tools, right? I could have liquidated, done this quietly and could have went about my business. But that means every team member would have lost their jobs. No creditors would have been settled. Everyone would have walked away basically tarnished, and I would have just maybe protected my ego. This was an arrangement, a partnership that was supposed to go through in order for everyone to be happy. That didn't necessarily include me.
This was an arrangement and a partnership that was supposed to go through. This was an arrangement and a deal structure that we was doing, that we all knew what we was doing. Yeah?
But it was good enough. I was like, okay, cool. I feel like ethically, I've done my part. Because usually people don't get what they're owed.
Yeah.
Like, as they say, business is business. I don't believe that, actually.
No, that wouldn't sit right with you morally.
Yeah, of course. Like, there's institutions and stuff that aren't necessarily people, but they're still people in business. So, and I'm a people person.
So what she's saying is, look, she could have just went bust with the business. Owed everyone a crazy bit of money, and no one would have got their money, respectfully. That's what she was basically saying. Do you know what I mean? But anyway, let's go on to this side.
Talk about kind of scaling pressure and why we're sort of touching on the debt here. On paper, the products were profitable, as we said. But the wider business, I suppose, and you can sort of deep dive into how that looks, but the wider business had accumulated over 1.8 million in liabilities.
Yeah.
And I think I suppose to me it looks like a classic scale trap, you know, revenue growing, but costs and debts, as you touched on before, kind of growing faster. Would you say, like you say, 2023 is your on paper your best year, but also your
We're still profitable that year.
exactly that, but also the time that it dawned on you that there could be a problem here.
Yeah.
When did you first sort of realise how deep the problem was? As in, like you say, it's hard to believe it when, of course, you know, the cash flow, etc. There's a struggle.
And this is what we need to understand, guys, as business owners. I know a lot of us that may be watching this I have never operated a business to this level where I am my own manufacturer. I manufacture products. So go over. This is a whole different world. And then I have a product and do you know what I mean? I sell. You have to account for everything. So looking at the books and what, you will know what is being spent. Because you see, when you listen to Mag's fake narratives and stigmas about Amma's out here spent too much money on our wedding and done this and that and that and that, and this is why the business collapsed. You lot, come on, guys. Like, and obviously Tony said that there was around 40 lenders. Now, even touching up into the lender side of things, you see, when you go through short form lenders, let's just listen to what she has to say.
And you've been let down in certain ways with, you know, the structure that you've had in place, but the business is still profitable. So when did it actually dawn on you that, okay, this is a problem that's kind of, the problem has scaled far beyond what I'd imagined?
Yeah, so post like those lenders basically like defaulting on us, right? Then we had to make quick decisions because how are we now going to fund this business? Because they've literally taken cash out the bank. Revenue we'd made on Shopify did not come in because they took it. So we needed money. So you now go to short-term lending, which is then another headache or another triumph, depending on which lender it is. But they're very aggressive. So they're looking for every week or every month a certain amount promised to them.
So let me tell you about short-term lending. And what she's basically saying is, look, we had our main organization lender, you get me? And there's something that happened with that lender that had nothing to do with us, but it put us in a pickle. Let me just say that without giving you the full. But there was something that happened with that lender that had nothing to do with us, but it put us in a pickle. And then we had to now go to a lot of short-term lenders. Now, let me tell you about short-term lenders. You borrow £10,000, you get me? They want £13,000 in a month. So, and if you look at business, God, like, how you even, like, the profit that you're making, you're going to pay into lenders, to the point that your business is only operating on paying back these short-term lenders. It's a scam. It's a scam. You lend something and they pressure you to pay it back. So just so you understand that side of things.
And you could almost find yourself in a place where you've just taken the money just to pay them back.
Yeah, for sure.
Because of how aggressive that payback period is. Now, of course, when you raise equity, you don't have to pay that back immediately. So that time, you have that time and space to reinvest those funds into what you're supposed to be doing, which is growing the revenues. Not even just growing the revenues, growing the top line and, of course, protecting the bottom line. But if you are trying to balance a high pressure situation where you have to pay these people back, you're picking who's getting paid. Everyone's getting paid at that point, but then you're not left with much.
This is the only reason why I wanted to put this bit in a segment in here, because the narrative is crazy online. We need to stop that narrative. That's not what happened. She didn't go around just spending off money. Do you know what I mean? It's a crazy narrative. It's not true. So I just want to correct. But anyway.
Just like, well, what's going on here?
Yes.
It was just becoming like really, really crazy. And we did scale things back. But it's like, again, an unfortunate situation happened that was out of our control. And we had to make a quick decision because things could have kind of actually gotten worse, to be fair.
And did those decisions feel super gun to head, I'd imagine,
Absolutely,
at that time?
Yeah.
And how it's almost, how do we take advice? We've got mentors, we've got people that we can speak to, but actually ultimately I need to make a decision because this needs paying and everyone, that's where the kind of responsibility of.
And that's, look, just so there's a breakdown of like an area of you lot understand where the debts and everything wrapped up from. You get me? Something's happened here, a company, you get me, going bust or, and it's left Plantmade in a mad situation where they've had to get emergency quick, fast, and that's an area that let's just eliminate the wedding stuff. Yeah? But let's go back on to flipping Tony, David.
So Plantmade was actually facing serious threats and motions to be closed down. So it was going to be closed down and be zero and never exist again. And what we tried to do was create a structure that would allow us to keep it alive, recapitalize it, and keep the products alive. So
we tried to create a structure that will keep it alive. Amazing. With partnership. With Amma, you, and the team, right? Right, Tony? Right, David? Right? Okay, cool, amazing.
No, did I steal it? No. Actually, other people that were owed money were going to shut it down.
No, you're no. Just cut the crap. Stop the crap. Stop the cap. Please, stop the cap. Get me? Please. Stop the cap. Get me? You're sitting there looking at the brothers in their face and we're just talking now. Actually, nope, stop the cap. But anyway.
It was a negative value, and what we did was rescue 15 people's jobs, a brand that...
Tell me this, guys. It's 1.8 million in debt. Why would you put yourself in 1.8 million in debt if you've never ever ran a company like this before in your life? You have no past experience, bro. You are there to raise capital, to help out the business, to work with the business. You at the time are not, there's no, after June, yeah, you come. June, we go from there. But from September, October, until June, you are there to raise capital. That's what you're good at, bro. You're not good at nothing else. So everything else, what you're saying there is crap. Just cut the crap. Just stop that from now, please. But anyway.
People loved, provided the funding for 1,000 people who were owed orders months back that they hadn't received to get their product, and kept a brand alive that we all love in the community, and to actually have the conversation that we have today. And I think that's one of the things I'm most proud of, is like, had we not come to the solution that we came to, then actually the headline would have just been black-owned business that we love dies and shuts down because of XYZ. And
what is it now? Is black-owned business stolen from black man, allegedly? Something like that. It's like that's where it is. Like, yeah, cheers, man. Even better. Even a better headline. You get me? Even a better headline. But anyway, let's get into another segment, man. Let's get into the next segment. Let's get into this segment here.
The restructure plan.
Yes.
Because pre-pack sale means that...
Now, this is a key segment because it's restructure. So restructure means like partnership, what was agreed, like how key, this is the key area. The key area. One of them.
Assets move, the legal ownership transfers.
Yes.
So after that, a founder technically has no inherent rights in the new company unless they're formally granted.
Yes.
That is the official line.
Yes.
So when you agreed to the restructure itself, what did you believe that, I suppose that you were being promised personally?
Equity.
Right.
So basically, look, let's just say it how it is. Let's just say it how it is. My man's a venture capitalist, whatever, angel investor. They're having a conversation. I can raise capital. If I raise this amount of capital, I want a certain percentage or whatnot. Right now, the books is not great. Oh, yeah, cool, no problem. Let's make this decision. There's either two decisions. Either we go in administration, we set up a different entity. This company owns 100% of Plantmade, you get a certain percentage as still being the founders, but the company is now still owned by X. But anyways, watch this.
So I was supposed to have equity into the business. So was the other team members,
Right.
the management team specifically. Also, anyone could earn equity depending on, well, there was some specifics around like product development and things like that. But
Which a lot of that is quite normal. or how
which
long
is,
you're
yeah,
at the
like again,
company
if you so there's like earn ups and stuff. So also that meant our roles were also supposed to continue.
and we'll get into all of this in the restructure. You were promised equity, and how did would your role look then? So as you move forward, and it's a different.
By the way, guys, in the restructure, there was promised equity. It went into administration in June. So from June to October, there was promised equity. Why would they still be at a company if there wasn't promised nothing? Or there was just, why would Amma, her husband, and the brother just be at the company for what? There was an agreement, right? Safe to say that. Like, we're not stupid. There was agreement, yeah? Safe to say there was an agreement beforehand. The conversation, boom, boom. Let me land though. I haven't spoke about key part. We're just using logics here. Just using logics, yeah? Okay.
Hands, but you say you're still there. The mission's still the same. What then is your role technically?
It was kind of the same,
Right.
to be honest. Again, I'm a high growth person, so figuring out the growth plan, but also managing different budgets now. It's supposed to be injections of cash. Okay, now we have cash. Great. The thing we always financing was really the thing that was the problem the whole time. So now we have non-pressured financing. How do we deploy that? How do we do it smartly?
So obviously, look, Tony, David, finances there. So obviously, Naughty's baby, I know you was owed a little bit of money. So, you know he was involved in certain finances and boom, boom, boom. I'm sure that certain things could have got paid before, or, just saying, my brother, you get me? I know this man's sitting on your sofa like, oh, yes, we'll take a cab, yes. No, we didn't happen like this. This Cambridge student, just, but we're going to cut the crap. But we're just going to give you the rawness from Fulton Heath, and we're just going to say how it is. You get me? Yeah? But anyway, just so you're aware. Cool.
Because when you've done the thing, good and bad, you now know what to do, what not to do.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, perfect situation. Back in the same fantastic business model, we just have, all the learnings to leverage here. And so that was basically me creating that plan to do so. So high growth, product development, all the good things, as well as still managing the team, making sure we're all working in line with everything that we've done. We know exactly.
Why is Amma doing all of this? Why is she still working, bro? Why is she still working for October to come and get kicked out of her business? Why is she still working, bro? Obviously, there's some sort of agreement. Why is she still working? Why is her husband still working? Why is her brother still working, bro? But anyway, cool.
What to do, what not to do, and more sophistication. It wasn't just when I think about our marketing plans. Something fickle as an offer,
Right.
a sale, all of that stuff. Let's really get to the nitty gritties, which is something that something that I was transitioning into as we transitioned out of a marketing agency and we brought marketing in-house. All of these okay, we have this margin that we can't go above or below this margin. Boom. Every offer needs to be very succinct. We need to know the amount of profit we're getting out. Everything needs to really be profit engineered.
Watertight.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We learn all of that. So there's nothing to learn here. There's nothing to be taught here. But that wasn't even the point. The point wasn't to go into this new business and to be taught, because this new owner had never ran a consumer business before.
Or your business.
Exactly.
This new owner has never run a consumer business. Please understand why he's here. He's not here to run the operations of a business. Don't let this guy fool you. He's here to, he was there to raise capital. Now, let's play this.
It's all this business model. So we knew this business model, and it was not the same as everything else. And that's the interesting thing about business, because once you get in it, you realize you can't talk on much on other businesses or verticals, because everyone's actually doing very different things specific to their niche. MOQs or even like SKU sizes for fashion, I just look at that looks like a nightmare.
Oh my
to me.
gosh, yeah,
but then
that
look
to
at
me
me,
is
I'm
so
like,
alien.
you had mint and peppermint and all of these things flying around, like what on earth were you doing? And I'm like, I picked my crazy and you picked yours.
Yeah,
Do you know
for
what I mean?
real, for
Like,
real. And even in the two of us
Yes.
having product-based businesses, ours look completely
Very
like, it's
different.
Everybody's, and I think because everyone's start is so different and everything's relative, so it's how you've built, it's how you've grown, it's how, oh no, we do it like this because it's what works, and
Yeah.
you know, this is what is great for our bottom line. It really is. It's like having a baby. When everyone
Exactly.
says this is how you put a baby to sleep,
like,
I'm
actually,
like, my
yours
kid's
is different.
never going to sleep like that.
Yeah.
Was there any point where you kind of believe that maybe your ownership was being preserved in
Now let's listen to this now. Let's listen to this bit.
some form?
Yes.
That's a very sort of sophisticated way of
I
saying
don't quite
that.
know why.
Right.
Because again, there was like we'd already handed over everything, right? Like as in the assets of the business. Not the assets of the business being handed over, but like the administration has happened. So
Yeah.
ownership has already been transferred. So like I don't really have anything. There's no reason for me not to honor my part. Do you know
Got
what
it.
I mean?
Yeah, because we're in.
Like we're in now. Okay, cool. And I'm person like if I'm agreeing to something, and I'm agreeing to something. Again, I did this for multiple reasons, not just myself.
So please listen to what she's saying. There's no reason for her not to honor her part. She's handed over her business. You get me? Bear in mind, there's loads of, bro, she's got a flipping 10, 14 million pound business in sales, a mad thing. Don't ever think that this business wasn't worth nothing. You got to be kidding me. You get me? She's played her part. What we're going to do is this business is going to own the business. We're going to sell the business. We're going to give you 30K. This business is going to own the business. We're going to give you equity and everything's going to go back to normal. But this angel investor, venture capital, hedge fund is going to own this entity. This is the deal structure. This is the contract or whatever. This is where we are. Let me land with that side of things. But let's listen to what Amma has to say.
Making sure that lenders were settled, making sure creditors were settled, making sure the team was good. That was the plan. And also, let's just grow this thing. Like, let's get back to feeling like we're building something again, because that's what we want to feel like. We want to feel like we're doing something.
And this bit isn't where you can be creative. This is kind of, we've got to put this fire out before we can then grow. And then that stops everything. When you're dealing with something that is so impactful in your business, you can't be creative. You can't think about what's next, what's new. You've got to deal with the problem that we're trying to solve here.
You just wanted to get back to that space.
Yes.
Again, I didn't care. I didn't own it anymore. I didn't care. But I owned part. I was supposed to own part, but that was.
But was that a long road for you to get to that point?
So I didn't care. I didn't own it no more. I didn't have fully ownership, but I own part of it, so it's fine. Do you know what I mean? It's fine because it's still business as usual. I might have lost like 50% of it or 60%, but we're gonna build this to, you know, a $500 million or $1 billion evaluation. I've started this with £100, no problem. Success story. It happens, you know. Bernie.
Well, you don't care. You don't own it anymore. Is that something?
I mean, that's like an ego death thing, right?
If you
And let me get to, because I've got key areas that I wanna. Okay, cool. We're there. We're nearly here.
who made that decision?
So
Go back a bit.
no, carry on.
No, I'm now just like sort of
Yeah.
digressing a little. In administration, but the brand, IP, goodwill, stock, everything customers recognised as Plantmade.
Yeah.
Moved. Who made the decision to appoint the administrators, and were they always the right fit? As in, was that like?
That's a good question, actually. No, carry on.
So who made? So what they're saying is, like, obviously, when you're at a certain level, and you're trying to figure things out. This David guy is coming and he's, let's do this, or let's go down this route, or let's go down this route. So it's like, who made that decision in terms to go into administration? Who made that? But anyway, just watch.
No, I'm now just like sort of digressing a little bit. I'm thinking like it's not necessarily a structure that you would ever plan or hope for.
Yeah.
But it also, the person has to be right.
Yeah.
So who made that decision?
So I don't know if I clarified actually earlier, but I met the new owner back in 2024, September of 2024, and we were trying to figure out an arrangement. So October 2024 to December.
So I met the new owner. I met Tony. I met David around this time. Remember I was telling you about the dates? So I remember I was telling you from September, October to June, he came into, go into raising capital or whatnot. He was working for the business. He was not an owner. He didn't own nothing. He was working for the business. He was there. He could have got told to F off. Are you with me? So I'm just saying, he had no power.
2024, trying to figure out, okay, cool. Come in as a team member, you can raise, and then we're still doing our thing. And then we're now figuring out like governance and like a board and all of these things. But then again, the debt on the balance sheet was just looking a bit. And that's again, how do you make sure all parties are actually accounted for, respected, settled?
Right.
So the new owner was like advising us and saying, okay, is either basically liquidate or we restructure. We did the pros and the cons. We're looking at it. And we were like, do you know what? Okay, fine. Let's make sure, again, everyone's good. So that process was kind of manned by him. I was also in that process as well. And the crazy thing about this process, which might be interesting to founders.
Sorry, can I just cut you just 1 second?
No, absolutely.
So really, you intended to work with the new owner?
This was a partnership.
Well, the company's gone into liquidation. Why have they've been working from June to October of 2025? It was only the other day they've been kicked out and she had to do that post. So there was, you can see, get me, you can see that there's agreements, obviously, Okay.
Prior to this happening.
Yes.
Which is, I suppose, why this whole thing, and these are my words, not yours, but it must land a little bit sore because of the partnership and the kind of future that you'd perhaps plan together.
We had a relationship. This person was going to come to my wedding.
And I find it so interesting that you don't.
This person was going to come to my wedding. We had a relationship. Bro, just understand this. When we're watching these things, just understand this is a man that's gone on to the 90s Baby show and spoke about something vaguely, quickly, for flipping 13 minutes.
At least the conversation has become, the business is in new hands. We can feel the loss and the sense from the amazing underdog story and building story that we've seen. But the thing that keeps me going is that we get testimonials to this day about people who the product's life has transformed them, whether it be they, are having postpartum hair loss or they're going through chemotherapy. For me, again, going back to school, all boys school, I had acute alopecia areata when I was 14, 15. And you don't want to have bald patches all over your head in all boys school when you're 15. It's just not fun. Even all of this conversation that we're having, the motion, if my boys from school see me and they want to humble me, they'll just call me Patchy, because that was my nickname. So I know what it feels like to lose your hair and the effect that it has on your confidence.
Do you understand? He said a whole load of nothing, fam. But he said a whole load of nothing, but a lot of the stuff that he said just wasn't factual. There was little bits in it that was like, but he said a whole load of nothing.
And the products that were formulated in the foundations of the business are transformational for people. So the driver for me was to keep that alive, to keep a business that is inspirational to so many of us, and to keep that story and legacy going. And that's really how everything went down, to be honest.
Wow. Okay, that's good insight.
Nah, big up. You're about to, I know these lot are watching it now with their popcorns, you get me? These are the broskies. You get me? But the story that you're hearing now is the real story. I haven't even landed with what I'm gonna show you lot, because when I land with what I'm gonna show you lot, it will tell 1,000. It will tell 1,000. It will tell 1,000. It will tell you what you need to know. Yeah. But anyway, let's just go back to this. So we're at 30.
Don't even name him now.
There's no need to.
But
They made their
that's how
position.
deep I
They
I
made
can
their
feel it
position
cuts.
clear, so I'm going to do the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So continue as you were. I cut you.
No, it's fine. The interesting thing about an administration is that everything you've done in a business gets pulled together. All the history, the financial history, but also how you conducted yourself as a director. So, like, if I pulled out loads of money and like, I could really be in the pen right now. Like,
Right.
if
I want you to look. Sometimes we're all the same. We look at businesses, we listen to a storyline, we listen to this storyline, we listen to this storyline. But I want you to understand, guys, yeah, it must be heartbreaking. You get me? Young, powerhouse, black woman, built a powerful business that's been stolen from her. I'm just saying how it is. And then on top of that, the narrative is that she's just been spending reckless money and she done this and that and that. On top of that, it's not, you get me? Because obviously everything's done in black and white, so you have to do an audit. So what she stated is like, if man's just taking money out and doing this, then I could go to prison. Please understand this, guys, yeah?
if I did not orchestrate. So when like we say, oh, starting businesses and stuff, everyone's like, oh yeah, company's house, £12. But but actually you have a duty of care. You have a duty of care to actually operate properly and do whatever it takes for this business, not only to survive, but everyone involved. Again, creditors, staff members, everyone, everything is analyzed. I literally filled pages and pages and pages of events, had to corroborate those events, everything, which was like a really interesting, like, I was like, oh, I didn't really know the end looks like this. This is interesting, but I'm glad I did everything right. Like, I paid people out of my own pocket. When, you know, cash flow, and I'm sure every founder at a point
there's not been one person in this seat
like,
that hasn't,
I'm sure there was a bit of a whoo with payroll, but again, we all make it work. And we did make it work, you know, and our team didn't even feel anything. Like, we did everything to the point where
to protect the team.
2025 is even when
Imagine, like, imagine, bro. And it's sad, man. You get me? This is how it shows you of a powerful woman Amma is, yeah. She didn't need to go on this. She did, because my man came on and just started just coming with some madness. Now she's felt like, listen, I need a platform to kind of give this a breakdown. Imagine people DMing her saying mad stuff and all of that. You get me? But this is a time when she needs us the most. So when you watch my video, please, you send this around. This is a video for all the older generation. The younger generation is not going to understand this. Only business entrepreneur side of things will understand this side of things. But it's very important that our community, and men, we need you behind this, man. Man's very vocal, man's doing podcasts. We need you involved in this here, because everything that I say, it comes with no malice. I'm just saying it how it is. Now, if Amma was the other person, I would have this exact same energy. Please understand this, yeah?
the staff started to feel something, you know? So like, we did everything. And yeah, it was a lot to live like on scraps for like years, and
because you're right, people like you know, people assume and, you know, run away with narratives that, oh, but I bet she was having a lovely life and doing this and doing that, but
nope.
Yeah, but also not really realizing that, like you say, it's there is there's a duty of care when it comes to administration, and that you have to be upholding your responsibility as a director, so on and so forth. Were there ever any other buyers considered when it came to the sale?
Yes, there were.
Was there any other buyers considered? when it comes to the sale of the business. Yes. Yes, guys. Yes. There was people interested in buying the business. Don't let this guy talk about, the company wasn't worth nothing. Yeah, we was doing something just to help the culture, just to keep it in the black business, in the black culture. Don't listen to that. Cap.
That's interesting.
It went public, which was a bit interesting to me because, again, I know where my head was at. My head was hot. Okay, I couldn't even really like focus. Like I was kind of in, but I was kind of like out because we still had to like figure out like, okay, with this new entity, what does this look like? Also, whilst filling out piles and piles of paperwork, then there were people interested. They were across a bunch of different industries, like pharmaceutical, like very high structural, like it probably don't know what it would have looked like if those the assets were sold to them. But like, yeah, we were on the market. But again, because we had our partnership, I signed ahead of terms, we made sure that we could steer it.
We had our partnership. I signed the head of terms. So I drop it now. What is the time? What is this one? Boom, buyers, then 4 months after sales contract. We signed the head of terms. Let's listen to the rest of it. I want to speak about it.
This way.
And I suppose there at the time would have been a safety in the buyer looking in the way that it did because of the relationship you have and the promises that you built and the understanding that then he had of the team and the operations and how the business is run, and then you still being a real kind of front and center part of that, right? So there's a safety in, it's like the classic saying is, you know, sometimes it's the better the devil you know than the devil you don't.
Sure.
Right?
Sure,
and
sure,
I think it's, which is kind of, I suppose, ironic in this scenario, but I suppose that would be your feeling at the time. Like, why are we going to entertain that when we can do it here?
Yeah. Yeah.
Was that how you felt?
That's the issue.
So basically she's saying, look, there's an agreement. We built up a relationship. We know what we're doing. Here's the deal structure. Get me? Yeah, cool. June, company go administration, cool. No problem. You get me? Yep. Sales fine, cool. We're going to give you this much equity, signing head and terms. Yeah, this is the deal structure, what we're going to do here. Yeah, no problem. We're going to do this. Fine. Safe to say, yeah? Yep. June administration, from June to October, they're still cracking on. Safe to say, yeah? Or there'll be no point for them to be at the company, right? So, yeah, cool.
What happened, yeah. So, yeah.
So the sort of 4 months after is kind of what I really want to talk about. So after the sale, you and the founded team, this is reportedly, so you correct me if I'm wrong, continued
we did.
operating the business day to day for several months.
Yeah, several,
After the actual sale.
Let's go into the head furthermore. Before I even go in there, she's operating the business for several months. So look, if we're going to go into the actual logistics, let's just go into this, and I want you lot to pay attention to this bit, guys, is just like what Emma said, signed head of terms, there's signed contracts, there's been agreements, right? There's an agreement. Now, there's an agreement to this company. So there's a company called, you know me, I'm not great, it's called Fuller, it's called Crown Holding Limited. So this company is the company that is supposed to, let me flip my screen. So this company is the company that's supposed to be trading with Plantmade. This is meant to be the holding company. So the holding company that's meant to hold Plantmade, that's meant to be trading. That's what it's on the contract, I presume this is the company. So obviously I go into this and I'm saying looking at the company, and then obviously I go into looking at the people, and actually look, you can see guys, look, the 9th of June, around the same time of administration. So administration was the 9th of June. Look, the company got opened up the 9th of June, 2025. The same day. Now this, obviously you go into this and we understand, and you know, you type in these companies and you understand, you type in the people, and then you go in there and you say who's the owner. The owner is David. Now David is Tony, guys. That's David. David is Tony. Now, David is Tony. I type in the name. Oh, this is David. Oh, so same guy. Safe to say, yeah? Safe to say, Tony, David, same guy. Get me? Same guy under this company. So this is the company that got made. June the 9th, the same time, the same day that Plantmade went into administration. The same day that, you know, a deal structure and whatnot, that Amar and the other managers, husband, brother, was meant to get equity. Business went as usual. But what happened was, guys, is this company, ILE Entertainment Limited, guess what, guys? Now, this company got made. This company got made on the 24th of June, guys. So just say what? 2.5 weeks, 2 weeks later, this company's been made. So obviously it's going to the people, guys, just so you're aware. And this is the company that is currently trading with Plantmade. So this company is currently trading with Plantmade. This is not the company that the deal and the deal that was agreed with Amar is with. This company that the deal that was agreed with Amar, that Plantmade is meant to own. Plantmade is meant to be trading through this company. Plantmade, Crown Holding Limited, is meant to have owns Plantmade. But you know, guys, look, the only director, active director, 9th of June, he opens up this company, the 24th of June, active director. You get me? And Plantmade is now trading with this. Now, guys, look, let's just say it how it is. Let me just say it how it is. Why do you think, let's read between the lines, bro. Why would you think, yeah, that he would open two companies? So the first company, the 9th of June, you would presume that, you know, would be, you know, an agreement. Everyone's going to own shares. Shares, equity is meant to be signed over. The right contracts, everything is meant to be handed over. But it didn't. And then all of a sudden, the company is owned by this next company that has nothing to do with Amar and that, and the contracts don't have nothing to do with this next company, but he's just opened up this next company. Read between the lines, guys. Why has this happened? So hold on. You've come into a business and everything must have been alleged premeditated. Like everything must have been thought through. We're going to do this, we're going to do this, we're going to do this. Now, down the lines of it, we're going to get into the last bits of it because it's very important that we get into the last bits of it because these are key areas. But I want you lot to understand the lines of what being robbed and being fucked up the arse, sorry guys, in a way of just saying how it is, looks like in the corporate world. Yeah, this is what it looks like in the corporate world. You don't put a gun to someone's head in my world and rob someone. In the corporate world, this is what it looks like. Just so you understand, but just watch the rest of this, please.
Sale and the restructure.
Yes.
But from my understanding, during that time, you felt like service contracts, equity allocations, structures weren't finalised.
No.
Right. Okay. So this is where, for me, it becomes a little bit tricky.
Yeah.
As to you've agreed on this sale. Mm-hmm. This is how you think the business is moving forward. Things aren't being finalised, which to me, I would assume it's very much like a house sale. And, you know, when you've exchanged and the sale's complete, you get the keys and that is it. You're in and now you own this.
That means everything from this company, as soon as this has happened, everything from this company should have been updated. You get me? These lot should have had their equity into the business and whatnot and whatnot and whatnot. And obviously 2 weeks down the line, forget about this company. This is the trading company for Plantmade. And yeah, like all of a sudden you're going to hear about this. Just listen to it.
So for me, for there to be sort of situations or things that are a bit iffy and not watertight would raise alarm bells for me.
Yeah.
So then after this, the communication breaks down, allegations were raised, and then eventually you were removed. Can you break this down for me in a timeline from your perspective?
Yeah.
Because obviously I'm piecing it together with facts that we have, but I just really want to hear for you, because this to me is where it sounds like a founder's worst nightmare.
Yes.
Actually.
Yep. Please, we want to hear this breakdown. You get me?
It does.
Yeah. Again, we had a duty of care to our customers and to the staff, really and truly. So I didn't understand what was going on. So but I was still participating in good faith. We all were, because at the end of the day we had a relationship with this person for many.
So I was participated in good faith. They've probably just been working for free. Just about, innit? They're not getting paid their salary. They're just working for free from June to October. Yeah, I still own the business, or I still own equity of the business. So let's go.
many months, like almost a year prior to the administration happening. So we're acting on our part, and then some weeks can't contact. Okay, can contact now, saying that, okay, season of raising, so I'm just kind of gonna lock in. But the thing is, because now this is in your hands, and also because shares weren't necessarily distributed, then there's things that couldn't be done. So even like the first.
So hold on. First week, now that you own the business, you're now, they can't get hold of you. Days they can't get hold of you. Energy's changed. You're in control now, innit? Yeah. Okay.
Week that we actually relaunched. Of course, customers don't know this, but I know they could feel it. When we relaunched back in July, because I was like, we are not doing this again. We're not just going to do this to just go back.
No.
Into operating how we were. Like, what was the point then? We should have just continued, which we could have. Again, we could have. This was not a pressurized situation where this was their last resort. No, actually, this was very well calculated. And we thought, again, everyone would be settled, right? So when we relaunched, we couldn't get a hold of the new owner for like 5 or 6 days. But like, even as little as like an ID put into Shopify to translate sales, that wasn't done.
So hold on. He owns the business now. Done this, owns the business. And now you can't get hold of him. He's in fully control. And this guy has the cheek to go on the 90s Baby show. Oh, mate.
But they
This
were
is
called
so
multiple
hard.
times. And I'm like, why is this happening? So I literally stopped the sale. I was like, okay, this is it. Mind you, we made like 80 grand, which is hilarious, because we know what we're doing. But it's like, okay, please do what you need to do. Like, we need to do what we need to do. And that was what the 4 months felt like.
And at that time, so this is like in the first instance, like, you know, your relaunch a month after, and you can't get hold of the now owner for 5-6 days. Did you instantly have that gut feeling that sometimes we get as females, that you think something's not right here? Or was that still to come?
It was there, but at the end of the day, I'm like, come on, like, surely
not. Yeah.
Please, like, it's already enough. Like, we've done everything we needed to do. Like, let's just build this thing. You just get kind of just like, let's just do.
Guys. And this is what you call, excuse my French, but being fucked up the arse, but just in the corporate way. Welcome, mate. This is how we do it. Get me? We come in the shapes and the skin of our own people. You know, when it's like support a black business and we do things within our community, then we have this black brother that comes in and he just fucks her. Sorry, man. Sorry for my, and this is what I say. You see with our culture, yeah, and these are the things that happen all the time, but there's no justice. You get me? And these people need to be called out. And there's not many people who can do it because they might be located in the UK and they might get all these mad, like, you know, these mad court dates, but I ain't coming back to the UK for years. So we'll deal with it then. You get me? They're all civil matters. I'm someone that spent 10 years of my life in prison and changed my life. But things like this, we have to back our women. We have to back people like this. This is a prime example of a role model. 24 she was, and she built such a powerhouse. Can't allow these things to happen. Can't allow these things to happen, respectfully. Can't.
The thing we need to do, like, we all made a promise. It's just not even a promise or what I'd hoped. I've signed a contract.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
But then how would that work then? And this is, I mean,
I have signed a contract. Let's go back to this. This is the company. Why is not Plantmade trading under this company? And why is Plantmade trading under this company? But this is the company that's got to do with the contract and whatnot. This company, Crowns Holding Limited. Why is Plantmade trading under this company that has nothing to do with Amma, a husband and her brother? Tony, David, please. Bro. We need some answers, mate.
I mean, if I'm digging into this too much, you tell me, but how would that then work if you have signed a contract?
And then administration, right? Is that what you're saying?
No, what my point is the things that weren't, I suppose there are things that ultimately weren't promised that were supposed to happen that didn't ever get finalised. The structures, you know, it didn't happen during that time. The equity allocations, etc. If there was a contract, how did that time go by without those things happening if there was a contract in place to protect you?
Both parties.
And both parties.
Both parties.
Yeah.
Didn't they had
Well, of course, we all get in contracts together to protect both sides of the coin.
It's a dual, it wasn't just about me.
But from your standpoint, and I should also be conscious that I'm just talking to you, and I would always do that because there's always two sides of every story. But I am talking to you, and you are my girl. So, how do your things that are supposed to be deliverables for you?
For sure, yeah.
How do they then not happen, and how is that not a conflict of a contract?
I don't know. Like, I'm not.
That's what this is the bit that I struggle with, because I'm putting this in layman's terms and putting it in a way that I can sort of digest it. If I'm in contract with somebody and they're not delivering on a deliverable that we have both signed a contract to protect both of us, because that's what they're for. But
then there's a court issue. So amazing. You know, God always works in amazing ways. God made Tony go onto the podcast and just gave him a rope. Yeah, here's the rope, mate. Gave him a rope to say what you're saying. Now you have to stand on business. This is what you said. But in the contract, this. You didn't meet this. But you got to stand on business. You little...
They are now in conflict of that contract because they aren't delivering. Then we have a bit of a legal matter on our hands here.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. Good. I just need.
So you understand, guys. So there's we have a legal matter here. Told this guy to go on to 90s, baby. Of course, just done yourself over. Mate. Cheek.
Some clarification in that, because that's where my brain then I just think, well, how are you protected? But I suppose then that's your feeling, we've done this to protect one another, but I am not being protected in this.
And I think myself and the management team definitely felt that way.
And you know what's more of a scumbag thing? Just going on to this in my last segment. I'll tell you what's more of a scumbag thing as well, is when you're dealing with such a big infrastructure, you can see that the company is struggling. You ain't got capital for crazy lawyers. So music game. If a record label wants to sign a artist, they pay for both lawyers, and then they'll do it as recoup. They'll just charge it back to the business, and they'll take the money back as recoup. This guy has literally tried to do a business structure, and she says it in this. You get me? And she said, look, man couldn't afford lawyers. That's one thing that man should have looked into. You couldn't afford lawyers. You couldn't afford the lawyers. You know what I'm trying to say? But no, doesn't matter. You still got mad grounds anyway, because you're going to see. But anyway, let's go back into the last segment, guys.
And if we're letting the internet come up with their own conclusions as to what's happened here, ultimately the story is a young black woman has had her business taken off her, and it doesn't sit right with anybody.
Yep.
So I think that...
Yep. A young black woman has had her business taken off her. That's what's happened. Now I'm going to listen to a little bit of this and conclude it. Read between the lines. I think everyone that's watching this, don't think I need to explain anymore, guys. You can just see, you get me, just from the companies. You get me? You can go look at the companies yourself. It doesn't make no sense. You get me? Why didn't he go into 90s Baby Show and break it fully down like that? He would never.
Maybe we're unpacking it today, but we haven't yet had a chance to. And I think there's been that real feeling in the community of, whoa, we can't sit and stand back and let this happen. And I do think that's perhaps why we're seeing the now owner featuring on podcasts or having interviews, because I think that, and listen, rightly so, everyone's got a right to reply. And it's, you know, and there'll be allegations that, like you said yourself, that have been thrown his way, like he stole it off of you, etc. But you're saying yourself isn't true. So I suppose that he wants to sort of, you know, protect his name too, which I do understand. But I think there's that...
Bro, I'm saying, my own opinion, that scumbag of a man, dirty scumbag, bro. Yeah, his parents must be so disappointed if they ever see this video. I hope they do. You get me? That's not a way how they raise their children. Stole that business off a young black woman. That's what's happened. And I'm saying that. You get me? But anyway, look, let me know your thoughts in the comments, guys. You get me? I'm going to finish it off like this. You get me? But like I said, big shout out to big shout out to 90s Baby Show. And I'm going to finish it off like this.
We was owed money. And I've said it on the pod. We was owed money. I can't even remember how long we was owed money for. It's rough to get into, but like, we was in a discussion of how it was going to be paid back, and I thought, okay, cool, sorted. That it's going to be paid over this period of time. Yeah, I think something happened, and then more things started happening. I'm being nice, way, you know, because then it seems like I've picked sides. It's not that. Essentially, it's like I thought it was handled until it wasn't handled, and then the news came out that it's in administration or something like that, or it's been taken over, new owners. So then it's like, let's look at what that means for us.
No, of course, and big shout out to you, man. But we got also, I'm going to finish it off like this. Look, we can't allow people to paint. I know you don't know what's real and whatnot, but I think that we should have always allowed, especially a woman that's potentially, this is me speculating, that's definitely put 5 to 6 figures of the company's money as a sponsorship, your first sponsor in your pocket. Obviously, you guys bringing a great platform, should have allowed her at least a platform to interview, or at least a conversation. Then having someone that's gone on a platform and said one bag of rubbish that's not true. You get me? And I hope you read between the lines just from the two companies. You get me? One company getting opened from this date, 2.5 weeks later, another company getting opened. And then that other company, Plantmade, is now trading with it. And everything I'm saying to you is a fact. So it goes to show, as business owners, goes to show, when you're a business owner, you need to trust these people. You can't trust anything. And in Emma's eyes, she could have got investment from other people. She could have sold the company to other people. That wasn't the last end result. It was a conversation that happened, a little weasel premeditated. And this is how you get done up the arse in the corporate way. And I'm going to finish it like this, guys, because you see things like this is very passionate to me, especially women, especially black women, but especially women in general, that we meant to safeguard as a black man. You get me? Everyone can have their own opinions, but one thing we always do, safeguard. I want to see, because women, very vocal, but I want to see us black men, everything that I've spoke about here. And a lot of smart people will read between the lines and they will take whatever they need to take. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Thank you for your time. Peace.